and improving the quality of the pictures. But if not this coming year, but the year after we're going to be playing a lot of games in 3D, stereo 3D. Big companies like Sony are pushing 3Ds extensively. It's going to happen.
Okay, I have another question.
Yeah.
Hello, Ralph. My name is Anas. I'm also a journalist that talks about games, and it's a pleasure to meet you. And I'd like to ask you, if you imagine that when the time that you invented the video game system as just an entertainment system, that you believed, or that you imagined that it could turn out a machine that produced art, that produced culture.
Well, think about where the electronics industry was in 1960. There were no microprocessors, there were no laptop computers, there was none of that. In fact, it was really the early days of integrated circuits. We just left the vacuum tubes behind. To think ahead and imagine what would happen in the next 30 years, like asking a stone man to describe a steam locomotive, not likely to do that. It was totally impossible to foresee what was going to happen. It's just unbelievable. Think about it. I'm walking around with a memory stick in my pocket that had 8 gigabytes on it, So, when back in the 70s, I was still working with an Apple that had 64K of memory, and that took a large board about this size, 64K. Some of the games I built over the years, the non-video games, like the game Simon, which I don't know whether Brazil had knows much about Simon. Simon was a big hit over here. Simon was built in 87. It had a 1K memory, 1K of 4 bits. That was the technology. So when you asked me, could I foresee what was going to happen over the next 30 or 40 years, totally impossible.
I have another question just a moment.
Sure.
Okay, hi, talking about future. Hello, this is Mark. I'm a photographer and a game designer too. Hello. I'm honored to meet you. I'd like to know if you think that it's possible to somebody do something like you did. Do you think there's something to be invented like a video game in the near future, or no? You are the man.
Well, I guess you guys are spoiled. Look at your cell phones, man. Look at your laptops.
Talking about games.
How many tens of thousands of applications are there for an iPhone? No, but there's tons of new stuff all the time. How much more do you want? Yeah.
Okay. Okay, now, just a moment.
One more question, it's me again, Viviane. What was the biggest difficulty you had to make things come to reality? Can you tell us about it?
Yeah, well, the difficulty was finding someone who would spend the money and take a chance on producing home video games. So that was Magnavox. Magnavox spent probably $1 million in doing customer testing before they committed to production, and then another $1 million to go into production. That was big money back then. You can probably multiply that by 3 because we managed to reduce the value of a dollar by 3% every year. So $100 million back, $1 million back in 1970 was like $3.5 to $4 million now. It's always a matter of money. Things are entirely different now. You're accustomed to having people starting businesses and being $1 billion businesses after 2 years. That wasn't the case back in the 50s, 60s, and 70s. Things are much, much smaller. But the most difficult part was finding somebody who would take a chance on something totally unknown. Just think about it, what did people do with the television sets? Nothing except watch them. This is the first time when people had a chance to interact with imagery on a picture tube. It was totally unknown concept. I took a lot of guts to spend real money on that. That answers your question.
Just a moment, we are having a problem on the link. Okay. I'll call you again. Just a moment. Hold on.
Okay.
I hope you can see me now.
I didn't know what I said.
Okay, hold on. You can see us, but we can see you.
No, I can't see you.
Oh, okay. I just can't see you. I can see me here. Don't worry.
All right, fine. As long as you can see me, yes.
Okay, fine. I have another question
Sure.
from the audience. Please.
Ele escuta falando aqui?
Não, tem que traduzir daqui, porque eu estou usando headset.
Tá. Quantas pessoas estavam envolvidas na criação do fone e quão difícil foi convencer as pessoas?
I can't hear that.
How many people were involved on the creation of Pong, and
Quão difícil foi convencer?
how difficult it was to develop it?
Are you asking what the relationship is between home video games?
I didn't get the question.
Quão difícil foi vender a ideia do videogame, que era uma tecnologia completamente nova?
How difficult it was to sell technology of the video game?
What about the technology? I didn't understand. Pull the mic a little further away.
How difficult it was to sell the idea of the video game?
And how I had the idea
How
of the
many
game?
people were involved?
That was your asking? You can fool that.
How many
Sorry,
were involved?
I didn't get it.
Yeah, I didn't get it either.
Hi, Ralph. I want to know how hard it was to sell the whole idea of the video game as it was a brand new technology at the time.
But it was very difficult. In '69, we brought in the manufacturers of television sets in the U.S. like RCA, Sylvania, Motorola, General Electric, and they all looked at the ping pong game and a handball game and I used my lifetime. And everybody said, well, that's very creative. But nobody moved off the dime. Nobody got courageous enough to do anything. It was almost a year later that finally Nighthawks decided. So it was very difficult to convince people to do something totally different, totally new.
Another question. Can you see us? How?
No.
Sorry about that.
Can you see us or not?
No, I can't see you, but I can hear you.
Okay, just a moment.
Hi, Ralph. My question is, today, you are still playing video games?
As I said earlier, only one of my grandkids come to visit me, and they insist that I play a game with them.
Hello. Hello.
Yes.
I'm speaker. How are you? My name is Pedro. I am interested in video, and I would like to know what you think about the new kind of evolution of the game, online games. What do you think about that? You play online games, you like playing?
Yeah. Well, to be honest, as I said earlier, I don't play the games anymore, so what I know is what I see when I visit my kids, my grandkids, and see them play. But to me, the evolution of video games is just like the evolution of all kinds of art forms, whether it's graphic arts or books, literature, and all kinds. There'll be new genres in the future. All ones will be developed more extensively as the technology gets better. And I think as far as sports games are concerned, 3D is going to have a major impact on games in the future. You're going to have to learn, all those of you who are game designers or would-be game designers are going to have to learn a whole lot more about how to produce 3D games. And it's part of the revolution. Things are going to change constantly. Yeah.